Hello friends, in this video we will see the page layout and printing of Microsoft Excel. First, there may be some time when you want to print your workbook. Not always, because normally we create workbook and worksheet to just for the digital purpose, but sometimes we need to print out the workbook to show someone or shares with someone offline. So once you have chosen your page layout setting, now if you have chosen your page layout setting, then it is easy to preview and print a workbook from Excel using the print pane. So this page layout you should select before when you are creating a document. So you should select the page layout before you are creating. Same as Microsoft Word, here also in this Microsoft Excel, we have two layouts: orientation, that is portrait, and landscape. If you want to select the layout, you can go to this layout tab, and here in this page setup you have this orientation option where you can choose the different layout. We have two: portraits or landscape. Selecting this layout will help you to create your document. If you're planning your document to print, so you can decide how it is going to be print. So you can be before creating the document, or you can select any time the layout. This you can also select when we are doing the print job. So when we are printing it, still we can do the same thing. We can select the layout also. To access the print pane, when you click on this file tab, it will take you to the backstage view. So when you click on the file tab, it will take you to the backstage view, and from the backstage view you click on this print command to see the print pane. So print pane will appear where you can see all the options and commands related to printing this Excel sheet. Now printing is important here in Excel because it is not like a Microsoft Word where you can see the page layout and where you can see the one page what it can print when you print the page. But Excel sheets are big. So if you can see here, we have a data where we have January, February, March, April, May, June, July till December, and it is very big. So sheets can be big, and the papers and printers cannot print the whole sheet. So because we are having a limit in the paper, so we have to decide what we want to print and how we want to print. For that, these printing options are important here. So if you want to print anything, then first you have to select the printer which you want to print. So printer which you have selected, which you have connected to your machine, you can select from this drop down command. You can select from the multiple printers. Then from here you can choose how many copies you want. Then you have some print settings. These settings are there are some multiple settings which we can choose from, and after selecting the proper setting we can go on to click on print, and when you click on print, your print will go to the printer and it will start printing. Now first, choosing a print area. Before you print an Excel workbook, it is important to decide exactly what information you want to print, because Excel worksheet can be a very big worksheet, and not only the worksheet, it can have multiple worksheet also. So suppose you have multiple worksheets in your workbook, and you will need to decide if you want to print the entire workbook or only a worksheet. Or you can also decide, like, you can print only, you want to print a specific area of your worksheet. So that you have to first decide. Now active worksheet, if you want to print the active worksheet, that means the sheet which you have selected. So when you select any sheet, it is called active worksheet. And if you want to print multiple sheet at the same time, then you have to select all those sheets. How you will select? First click on one sheet, then hold down the control key from your keyboard, and then click on other sheets to select these other sheets. After selecting the sheets, then you can go to the print pane, and from the setting here you can select this range. From the print range command drop down, you can select print active sheets. So it will print only those sheets which you have selected. Then you can go on to print command, and then it will print only the sheet which you have selected. For example, we have here multiple sheets: central, east, west and international. Now I want to print central only. So I click on this and I'll go to the print command file, this backstage view. Here I will click on the print and I can see my print commands. Now here first I can select my printers. I'm going to select this PDF virtual printer so that we can see how it is going to print. And here we can select the copies, how many copies you want, and these are the settings where I can select what I want to select, the active sheets. So I can select what I want to print here. So I select active sheet and then I can go and print. Now because I choose the PDF printer, virtual printer, so it is asking me where you want to keep your file. So I'm keeping it here in the document so that we can see what it has printed. Print 1, and it has done. Now let's check what it has printed here. So here is the file. Now here I can see here, this is the one page, and then if you see the data of the first sheet, it cannot fit into the single page. So what it has done, it has divided into 6 pages. This is second page, then third page, and this is fourth page. Now this is fifth, and this one is the sixth page. Now how it is divided into six pages, because you see here it is started from name, January, February, March, April. It is going on like this. Then total rows are not able to fit in the page, so the rows are continuing to other page for the same month. Here the rows are ended. Then it uses the another May, June, July, and August, September, and it is also not able to fit into the page, so it is continuing here. And then it is printing the last one, October, November, December, and the total. And it is also not ending here, so it is continuing here, and here it is in ending. So this is why it is printed into 6 pages, and you can see how it is printed, and it has printed only one sheet because I have selected that sheet. If I select uh, multiple sheets, then it will print multiple sheets. So if suppose I select central and western, so I select both, and then I go here and then I say I want to print both the selected sheet. So I click here and I select active sheets. So I have selected 2 sheets. So you can see here it is showing now 12 pages. Why 12 pages? Because for one sheet it needs 6 pages. So the 2 sheets, it becomes 12 pages. You can see here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can see in the review area, you can change the page. You can check how it is going to print in the page. So it will print 6 page, 2 worksheets and into 12 pages for 6 page each. If you want to print the entire workbook, so even you can select any sheet, does not matter, but you can print the entire sheet. So if you want to print the entire sheet, then here you will select in this print range setting, you select this print entire workbook. It will do print the entire workbook without selecting any sheet you can select. It will print the entire workbook. So if I want to print the entire workbook, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sheets there. So I can select any. I'll go here in the print and here in the setting I will select entire workbook. Now as I select entire workbook, you can see how many pages it is going to print. It is going to print 24 pages, 6 for each sheet, and we have 4 sheets, so 6 4 is 24. So it is going to print all the pages and it is going to print like this. Other thing is that you can print a selection only. So if suppose you want to print only 40 records here, I have a records of sale people, I want to print only 40. I don't want to have all the records. So what I can do, I can select the records which I want to print, and then I go to again from the print pane in this setting tab, in the setting command, print range command, here I will select the selection. So it will only print the selection which I have selected. So you select that one and then you will see the preview here and it will print only the selection, nothing else. So for example here I want to print a particular selection, so I can select the selection which I want to print. I am selecting only this area, then I'll go back to the print, and here in this setting drop down I will select the selection. Now you see it is printing only this part, nothing else, and it is also printing in 2 pages because it is not fitting into 1 page because it is giving it till April, so May and June is coming into other page. We have one more option here for the print range, that is called print selected table. Selected table because the sheet has a table. The data is converted into table. The data is in table. So if I select table, so it is actually printing that whole sheet. So the data which I have here in the sheet, it is actually a table. So it is giving me the option to print the table also. Then you can also choose this option. It is called print area. If you prefer, you can also set this print area in advance. In advance, that means you'll be able to visualize which cells will be printed as you work in Excel. So simply select the cell you want to print and click the page layout tab, and then from there you select this set print area command. Then whenever you set you set the print area, so if you print, then only it will give you option to print that only print area from that sheet. So that sheet will have only the area which you selected as a print area. Now if you want to print the entire workbook or entire worksheet, then you have to clear this print area. Otherwise it will always give you option to print that only selected print area. So if I want to do this, so let's see, I select from name January February, okay, January February until 10, or let's say 20, whatever, 10, I will select 10. So this is the area I want to select as a set as a print area. So here in the page layout tab, in the page setup group, I have this print area command. So here I set this area as a print area. Now what happened when I go to print pane, and when I select the active sheet, now you see it shows only the area which I have set as a print area. Let's deselect it. I have selected it, so okay, I select anything else. Now if I go there again, you can still see it is showing only that print area. Even I say print the active sheet, but it is not printing the whole sheet, it is only printing what? the area which I have set as a print area. If I select the entire workbook, then it will print the entire workbook. That means other sheets will be printed as it is, but the sheet which I select the print area, it will print only that area in that sheet. That is the last one, and this is the one of the last sheet. So if you want to print the whole sheet, then you have to clear that print area. So for that you have to go here again in the page layout tab, and then you have to select clear print area. Now when I go and try to print this active sheet, now it is showing the entire sheet. It is not showing that area which I have selected. Adjusting the content. So there are some other settings also, like I have set. Some occasion you may need to make a small adjustment from the printer pane to fit your workbook content neatly onto a printed page. So the print pane includes several tools to help it and scale your content, such as what? Scaling, page margin. Excel offers two page orientation, that is what? Landscape and portrait. This landscape orient as a horizontally and portrait orients vertically. We can change it before creating the data from the page layout tab, or if suppose you want to printing now, and then you can also decide which layout you want and other options also. So for example, I want to decide the print area, this orientation. So still I can decide when I'm printing. In the print pane, I have this command here. I have this here in landscape or page orientation. You have portrait or landscape to select. So you can select before from this page layout tab. You can select your uh, orientation, or you can go and select at the time of printing. So right now it is what? Orientation set portrait. So portrait is having a data till what? May, January, February, March and April. Suppose sometime it is not able to fit and our data is more wide, so I can go and select what? Landscape. Now you see it is changed the landscape, it is changed the orientation, and now I can see here it is fitting January, February, March, April, May and June. It is fitting till June because now it is having more area in this side. So before creating the document also we can do that, or also at the time of printing also we can adjust these settings to fit our content properly. So we can select what layout and it is according to it fits the page. To fit the content before printing, you can also use this scaling option. Scaling option automatically scale this content into the page. It automatically scale the based on the default size of the cells and columns, rows and columns. So it automatically detect that default size of rows and columns and try to adjust it into the page. But if you see, it is not adjusting the whole sheet here in the same page. It is creating multiple pages for adjusting the data. So you can do that. You can change the scaling setting and you can change it to fit into a single page, one sheet in one page. So you can do that from this print pane. From scaling tab, drop down, you can select, like by default it is no scaling, but you can select to fit one sheet in one page, fit all columns in one page, or fit all rows in one page. But it can be difficult sometime, because if your data is lots of data like here you see, and if you try to fit this data into a single page, sometime it is difficult to be read. It becomes difficult to read because you see it's trying to adjust all the columns here in the same page, and it is getting difficult to read. So it is better to use no scaling. You can change back to no scaling. As you see here in our data, it is creating 6 pages here. because it is not able to fit into one page. All the data is not able to fit into one page because it is creating 6 pages. But if suppose I want to create it into single page, so I can go for this scaling setting here. Now I can choose fit all columns on one page. So now you see it is trying to fit all the columns in the single page. January to December and total and name. And now if you try to read it, it is almost impossible to read. But the rows it is not trying to fit. Rows are still going into second page. But if you want to fit all the sheet, all the data, all the content into single sheet, you can select fit sheet on one page. Now it is trying to fit into single page and it is now getting more difficult to read. So it is better to use no scaling for some data, some content, but if you are having less content, then you can scale down to scale up or scale down to fit into the page. One more thing is to include the print title. If your worksheet uses the title heading, so it is important to include these headings on each pages of your printed worksheet. It would be difficult to read printed workbook if the title headings appeared only on the first page. So the print titles command allow you to select specific rows and columns to appear on each pages. For example, here we printed one document. If we check this document, this is what the one sheet, only the one sheet, but it is printed into, it is spreaded into 6 pages. Why? Because it is not able to fit into one page. Now what we have in one first page, we have the name column and then we have the row for the headers of month. So we know like this column is January, this is February, March and April, and this is the name column, and this data is for this person, this data is for this person and this person. All is good. Now when you go to the next page, now here the confusion starts. We know the names, but here we don't know which month data is it. So it can be confusing sometime. Now we'll go to the next page now. Now here what we have the name of months, but we don't know the name here. Now we don't know this data is for which person. Now let's see the other page. Now here in this page, it is completely confusion. No name, no month, you don't know what data is for which date, which month, which user, no information. So it is difficult to identify this data on this page. Why it is doing this? Because it is going like one by one. So this page starts here and all rows are not able to fit onto the page. So it is continuing the row here. So it will be difficult for us to read the data properly. So in this case, we can use this option to have title, print title. It will allow us to select the row and column as a title, which will print all the pages. So for doing that, we have to go to the page layout tab, and from there you can select this print title command. So when you click on that, it will open the dialog box to select the row you want to have on top and the column you want to have in left side in all the pages which you print. So if you know the range, then you can type the range here, or you can select this arrow and then you can select what row you want to add. So you can add the row and then you can add the row and click enter, and it will be added, and same as the row we can add the column also. After doing that, press OK, and then when you print, so it will print with row and column both on all the pages which it prints. So if it prints 6 pages, so all the 6 pages have the same row and column with it. So I want to do this here because my data, when I print this, it was difficult for me to read. So I will do this. So for that, here in the page layout tab, I'll go to here In the page setup group, we have type, print title. So I click on it. Now it is asking which is your row and which is your column you want to print in every page. So I select for the row, and this is my row, and I say OK. Now for column, I click here, and this is the column I want, which prints on all the pages. And then I press OK. Now the changes here, you will not see any changes, but when you print it, you will see the change. So I'll go here and I say I want to print the sheet, and I say OK. Now when you see the data which we printed here, so this is our first page which has the column and row. OK. Now in the second row, if you see, it is still showing the rows and columns. So I know the data is belong to this person, and I know this is January data. Then I go on to the third page, and still I can see the names and months. If I go to the next page, still I can see the names and months. So it is now very easy for us to read the data. Otherwise, if you see the previous example, it was difficult for reading that which data which belong to which person and from which month. Now to adjust the page breaks. Page breaks define that where your page will be break and what data will be available in one page when you print, and what data will be available on the second page, third page and fourth page. If you want to see that, you can click on here in the status bar. You have a command page break view. To change the view, we have normal view, we have this view, and also we have this page break view. So when you click on that, you will see the page break. So if you want to see the page break of this, that where your first page is ending and second page is starting, so you go here, this is your normal view, this is your page layout view, and this is your page break view. So when you click on it, now you can see here this information, that page 1, then page 2, page 3, all you see. The page 2 is here, and then page 3 is here, and then page 4 is here. So when you click on this page break view, you will see this, that page 1, page 2, and they are divided by this blue dotted line. This blue dotted line divided by this, you can see it is divided. The page 1 is ending here, and then page 2 will start from here. Now if you want to change it, then you can change this. You can increase or decrease this page break, that you will define. You are defining like what you want to have in one page, and then what you want to have in second page. If you want to change this, so you all go hover your mouse on this blue dotted line, so you will see this two arrow, and then you can click and drag what you want. So you can drag to change the setting. You can change the line, like here I'm changing from 22 to 21 or 21 to 22. So you can change it, and then what, it will print only the data which you have changed, like this. For example, here also I have a data here. Now I can see the line. So if I see here, my page 1 is ending here on line number 47, but I want to change it. So I can click and I can drag it to other options, other line. You can drag more. I will drag it to 21, and you can see the name Halewang. So it is going to print in the first page only this area. If you go here and check what it is going to print, so you can see it is going to print only this area. This is on the first page, and then rest of the things will go to second page, third page, fourth page, and so on. You can change from this side, you can change from this side also. Now I change it till March. So if I go and check what it is going to print on the first page, so you see it is going to print till this until March. So this is to adjust your print area by using the page break option. Then you can modify the margins also. Margins, that means the margin which is on the paper. By default it leaves 1 inch, almost 1 inch on the paper from top, bottom and left, right. So if you don't want to lose any space on your page, you want to use the whole page, then you can adjust your margin. So you can drag, you can adjust your margin to comfortably fit in your page. So if you want to do this, so you can do it when you are printing your data. Go back to normal view. So if you are printing your data, then you can go there in the print, and here you have option to select the margin. So if you see here, it is normal margin. By default it is always normal, which leaves the exact area from top, bottom, left, right, header, footer, whatever. So if you want to change, you can go wide, you can have a more space on margin like this. Now you see that more space it is leaving here. Or you want to reduce the margin, then you can go and select narrow. Now you see it is using more area here in this left, right margin. Top, bottom it is not using still, because it is the area of header and footer. Or you can go for normal. So you can adjust your margin, and also if it is not fitting properly, then you can go for this. You can adjust the margin manually by clicking the show margin command. This is on this lower right corner. So you can click on this and it will show you the margin, and then you can adjust your margin manually. So if you want to manually adjust the manually margin, then you have here in this corner show margin command. So when you click on it, you will see the margin points, and then you can adjust, like you want to increase it from this side, you want to increase it from this side, you want to increase it from up, down. So now you are using the total page, and then you can print. When you are done, disable this, and here you have, and you can print it now. So this is how you can manage, you can manually change your margin. Other options are like changing the letter size of the page, and also you can change how you want to print. Collected, that means print first 1 2 3, or like if you choose 3 copies here, so how it is going to print 1 for each pages. For page 1 it will print page 1 2 3, then page 1 2 3, then page 1 2 3. Or you can go like this: first page 1 will be printed 3 times, then page 2 will be printed 3 times, then page 3 will be printed 3 times. By default it goes like this: 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. So this is what you have in the printing options. These margin, orientation, size you can also change from here. Page layout option you have still here. Margin options, it will not show here. If you change any margin, it will only apply when you start printing. Orientation also apply when you start printing. Size also when you start printing. So actually these all options are here which related to the printing in this page layout tab. And this is what we have in this video. I hope you like this. So in the next video we'll see something else. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.